What's up, YouTubers? Thought I'd give you my 2 cents on this Canwelum light. There's a lot of these things floating around, you know, the Amazon, eBay world, and if the rest of you are like me, I'm a little skeptical of buying something like this. Little $20 light. But I have to say that this light has held up spectacularly, actually. I have a pick rail mount for this on my AR. I have another light that I use on there too. It's a little more appropriate, you know, better switch placement, you know, a little more durable and whatnot. But I have thrown this on there as well. The primary that I've used it for so far is on, you know, what I carry for my not carry, but what I have for my self-defense gun, home defense, which is a Springfield XD9 service. So it's a 4-inch barrel. That's what it's been mounted on. And you know, I take this gun to the range and I leave the light on. Not because I'm lazy, but because I want to test it, right? I want to know, like, if I'm ever in a situation, God forbid, where I need to actually use this weapon and I have this light on it, I want to know that it's going to stand up to it. So every time I go, that light stays mounted. So I'm going to try to put the phone down where you guys can see what's going on again. I apologize for not having, like, you know, my bench set up or anything. So this is the light. It's fairly small, not enormous. It comes with the battery that's needed for this. I forget exactly what style battery it is, but looks like half of a C size battery. This is the switch that turns it on and off. It does have a strobe, so if you do what I did, if you turn it on, turn it off, and turn it back on, that's when it strobes. I don't really have a way to test how bright it is right now, but this sucker's bright. You know, not too long ago, a picture frame fell. It was in the entryway of the house, and it made a bunch of noise. And you know, my wife and I were both in bed. I had this in the nightstand next to me, so I pulled it out and threw the light on. I ran out to check and see what it was. You know, it sounded honestly like somebody breaking the window. It scared the piss out of me, but you know, I turned this light on and it lit up. It was more than enough light, and it definitely would have blinded somebody had they been looking at it. So here's how it mounts. It's tight. It's tight already on the rail. You know, but that's it. So it's got this little spring, you know, spring thing here. So that fits inside the pick rail. If you try to scoot it back all the way, this is my only complaint, really. You know, I wish it sat flush here like this, and you know, had this actually lock instead of, you know, this locking where this is off flush. Not a big deal, right? But less than about a quarter of an inch maybe. But you know, I have OCD, and I would really like it if it sat back there. You can keep it back here until you fire the weapon, and then that will push it back into place. I know because I've tried. So, you know, and not that this is bad, but it doesn't look terrible. I just wish, you know, I just wish it looked like that. So, so this, like I said, this is on an XD9 with a 4-inch service. I don't think that this is going to work on, you know, maybe like the subcompact XD or any of the equivalent Glocks in my Glock fan. So I don't know what those models would be, but you know, if they're short, like for instance, this is a SR22 3.5-inch rail, but you can see the pick rail here is much smaller than the pick rail there. Actually, yeah, it's smaller. It's definitely smaller. So when you try to mount this, you know, the way that it's mounted, it doesn't go back far enough to get this to lock. So anything that's subcompact, I don't think this is going to work for you, but you know, on something like this, you know, it works just fine. Really bright. I would definitely buy more of these. You know, it's all aluminum, it's not plastic. As you can see, there are some like markings on it where I've dropped it, you know, and it's held up fine. It's held up through the recoil of this weapon with 124 grain, I think. And then, you know, I don't know, just tons of the 115 grain normal plinker stuff. So, but literally, I don't know, 700-800 rounds at least. This is held up and still fires fine. So, you know, strobe. So yeah, it's a great little light. This one's by Canwelum. I've read some really good reviews on their customer service. I've contacted them just to kind of see, you know, what their general attitude was like. They're very pleasant people. They really seem to care a lot about you as the customer and not about the money. So it's not bad at all, and that's part of why I have, you know, confidence. If something were to happen, I am absolutely certain that I could contact that company and say, hey, you know, this is what happened, and I'm sure they'd send a replacement. So yeah, Canwelum, this style light is being copied everywhere on interwebs right now, Amazon, whatnot. You know, don't be afraid to try it. What you know, what's the worst that can happen is that, you know, this thing is, you know, maybe you decide, like, I don't know, it's gonna be on your junk gun, whatever. Still nice, puts off a lot of light. I don't know what it says it's rated for, but I'm pretty sure that it's a lie. It's much brighter than what it's rated for. I know that was my first impression. I don't have the information in front of me, but you know, I haven't changed the battery yet. So here's something like the design of it. You know, I can reach forward and turn this light on without having to take my fingers away from, you know, the ready, if that's where it needs to be. So, you know, I can reach out with one finger and turn this light on, which I think is fantastic. Instead of, you know, requiring a 2-hand operation, maybe you don't have time for that. Maybe you just pick it up and bam, finger on the switch, light's on, and I'm not really worried about shutting it off until I don't need it. But yeah, that's that. Any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them below, and I'll get to them when I can. Otherwise, y'all have a good one.